Continuing our discussion, we mentioned the structural problem. Well, how can we address it? How can we fix that within mobile government? We want to talk about the software or security or system or solution development life cycle. We want to understand the common aspects all of these life cycles have and understand the proper application of security to the SDLC and how this can address the structural problem. So this is a depiction of a typical life cycle, and I want to call two things to your attention. First of all, the most important phase is the requirements definition or beginning phase of the life cycle. Then we continue through design, implementation, testing, evolution or deployment. This particular life cycle has 5 phases. It could have 6, it could have 4, but the things that it have in common are that 1, it begins with a start point. All development life cycles have a requirements definition start point. And second, it continues. We never finish development. Think about it. You deploy and then immediately you begin to collect statistics on the performance of what you've deployed and build those requirements in for the next phase of deployment or improvement. The key from a security perspective is to maximize the participation of all parties, all stakeholders in the development process, and to build security into the requirements definition phase as a primary design requirement. We'll talk later about security goals of confidentiality, integrity, and availability, but at the most basic level, if the application isn't available, if that primary security goal is not satisfied, what is the point in building it in the first place? So we must build security in at the beginning phase of the life cycle and at all phases during design, development, testing, and deployment. Continue that life cycle, build security in as you continue deployment, and roll these requirements in for the next cycle. We address the structural problem at all phases of the life cycle. Build security in as a requirement, build secure design in the architecture, and we'll examine this later when we discuss avoiding or studying failures and avoiding structural problems in design. Build a secure design. We use secure coding practices, proper coding, rigorous syntax to avoid vulnerabilities, and we test for security explicitly during the testing phase. Once we're deployed, we monitor for security events and we handle them. Now, it's easy to think that this is a crisis, but really nothing has changed. And what we actually have in the transition to mobile government is an opportunity to address this structural problem. Many of you will be rebuilding or re-architecting or significantly enhancing your infrastructure in the process of transitioning to mobile government. Take this opportunity, if you have not already, to build security in at every stage of the life cycle. So another way to look at this, think of it as an inoculation. Many of you have children. We take our children to see the doctor and we get them inoculated against common diseases. The child cries for a minute, perhaps is grumpy for the day because of the inoculation, but we avoid the other alternative, which is days in hospital or worse in the case of a serious disease. So, as we say, an ounce of treatment or a pound of cure, a gram of prevention, a kilogram of treatment. It's your choice. Thinking back to the beginning, putting yourself in the attacker's perspective, remember, he will attack your systems. He will find your weaknesses. He will break in. He will steal your data and sell it. He'll do it again and again and again. He'll always be there, and it will never stop. And the attackers will only grow in numbers. The only thing we can do is address this structural problem. Thank you.